So I just wanted to jump on here as I haven't really had very much to film or talk about lately. If you're following, if you're new to this channel, my name is Victoria and I am trying to go for it. I'm trying to get out onto the road full time. It's a dream I've had for, gosh, a long time, at least a decade. And I've been trying to realize it for many, many years. But lots of things, have gotten in the way: finances, obligations, fear, and just trying to figure out how to do it. And so I'm trying to make it a reality. And I did buy a teardrop trailer a year ago, and I have been out on a few camping trips and had a blast and love my little trailer. But as far as doing it full time, I'm not so sure if that's possible for me. I have found another, or it's actually several YouTube channels that, by the way, I'm still in my morning robe. I literally just wanted to jump on here. Anyways, I found some YouTubers that have done it, full time, or at least for a year at a time, although some full time, and they did do it, and so I thought, okay, this is doable. But most of them are a lot younger than I am. Towing something, even though it's a small trailer, is a little more complicated, right, than just driving a car. You have to learn how to turn it and back it up. That's actually harder than you would think. Smaller trailers are harder to back up than larger trailers. And I'm still, learning how to do it. I'm much better at it, but since there's such long periods of time between when I get to do it, I almost have to start over every time, but I think I'm getting better at it for sure. Once I get out on the road full time, if I do it with the trailer, the tiny trailer, then I should get good at it in no time. But, there's the hitching and the unhitching, and just getting used to having something behind you in your car, attached to your car, is definitely a challenge, and you feel it when you're going up mountains and so forth. And there's so many things you have to think about, like, going into a small parking lot and getting stuck because you can't back up. So in any case, it's what I have. And in my last video, I was talking about how I've been shopping for a used Class C and how difficult of a process it has been. What I have decided for now is that I want to get out and do a trial run with just the teardrop and see if I can do it. I was supposed to do this a year ago, but then my mother was diagnosed with cancer, and so that got put on hold. So now finally here, nearly a year later, I'm going to get out on the road full time. For a trial trip. And my main concern with the teardrop is that it's, of course, mainly for sleeping, and then there's the kitchen galley in the back for the kitchen, but I have nowhere to set up an office. I do work remotely, not full time, part time. And I thought, well, I've got to have an office, right? So that's why I was thinking I needed a Class C. I could possibly work inside the trailer, but I just don't think that would be very comfortable because there's really nowhere, there's no room for a chair. Obviously, it would be just me sitting on my bed and leaning back, And I did just purchase a little lap table laptop type table that's like a bed table, you know, a bed couch table. And that could possibly work where I'm inside the trailer and I use that lap table. The problem is I don't just have a laptop that I use for work. I have a printer as well, and I have a phone. I actually don't have a laptop. What I have is let me look at it to see, like a regular keyboard and then a small, very, very small desktop computer. It's tiny. In fact, it's smaller than a laptop, so that's good. So basically, I just need a desk that will fit my keyboard, my small little printer, my small desktop computer, and my monitor, and my phone. So, you know, I'd rather have something that's semi-permanent because, you know, setting it up and breaking it down all the time is a pain in the ass. So that's why I was leaning towards a Class C. Because usually they come with a dinette set, and I thought I could turn that into my office. You know, I'd have to probably, hopefully I would have part of it to sit down and eat with, but, you know, if worst comes to worst, it would just be my office. But in any case, I've been racking my brain thinking of what else I could do, and one thing I had thought of is putting up a clamshell or some kind of a screen tent, setting up a table, you know, and then setting up my office outside of my teardrop. And that might be doable sometimes, like, you know, when the weather's right, there's not high winds, I'm staying somewhere for a while, and I have the time to do all of that. You know, that's quite possible. But somebody in the comments from my last video suggested that I get a van and tow the teardrop with the van and set up an office inside the van. And I thought, wow, why didn't I think of that? I didn't even think about something like that. I was thinking of maybe getting a Honda Ridgeline truck and, you know, towing, because I do want to get a better tow vehicle if I do decide to stick with my teardrop. Because my Honda CRV only tows 1,500 pounds and my teardrop is 1,100 pounds. And then once I pack it all up with stuff, you know, it's probably closer to 1,250 or something. So, you know, for peace of mind, I'd love to have upgrade my tow vehicle. But I thought about a van for a while, and I thought that would be wonderful. I'd have all that extra space, and I could set up a permanent office in there, and that would be great. But then I was starting to think about how challenging it probably would be for me to hook up the trailer to it. It's already hard enough with an SUV, and I wouldn't be able to see very well, you know, out the sides or out the back or anything. And I just think I'd be too nervous, that it would make it too challenging for me. Mind you, I'm a solo older female, and, you know, I'm having to do all this by myself, and trying to back up a big old van to the trailer seems daunting to me. And the worst thing I would want to happen is for me to buy a van and then discover I can't do it, you know. Maybe I could, but, you know, how the heck am I going to know until I actually do it? And then by then it would be too late. I could possibly rent a U-Haul if it has a tow and test it out and see. That's a thought. But I don't know, the idea of driving a van plus a trailer is also it sounds a bit much to me. But in any case, this person, a commenter, was saying you could set up your office in the van, and that's true. That could be sort of like my little mobile office, as it were. And so I'd have my office in the van, and then my bedroom in the trailer, and my kitchen in the back. And I do have a little bathroom inside my trailer, so that's cool. I could have another bathroom inside the van because there'd be enough room. So that would be really great, good coverage there. So But I was thinking, I don't know, I think it would be too big of a change. I'm not too good at this point in my life of trying something totally new and unfamiliar. And I have driven a van though, because I remember I had a job many years ago, like a decade ago, where I was driving special needs kids to and from their homes to school. And I was having to navigate some nasty freeways over in Oakland on the other, and there's all this maze of freeways and stuff, and I got good at it, so I don't have any problem driving a van. But towing with a van and all that just sounds like a bigger challenge, and at this point in my life, I'm not willing to take on big challenges like that. I just don't deal with stress very well as I used to when I was young, and I get overwhelmed quite easily. So I thought, well, what else could I do? What else could work, And then I started thinking about minivans. So I've been researching the heck out of minivans lately. And I love the fact that some of them, I think older Toyota Siennas and what's the other one? Chrysler Pacifica. You can take all the seats out in the back, so you have all this fabulous room in the back. And I could keep one seat up and make it into my little office, like keep one seat up all the time and make an office back there, and then have all this room to be storing my extra stuff. So I thought, aha, that's the ticket, a minivan. And I discovered, though, that they're very low to the ground. Like the Chrysler Pacifica is something like only 5 inches. The ground clearance is only like 5 inches. I'm like, what? Oh no, you're going on these roads with potholes. That's not good. And so I'm like, well, that's not going to work. But then I found out that there's a couple of other minivans, like a Toyota Sienna and the Kia Sedona, or the more recent ones, Carnival, has a better ground clearance of about 6.5 inches. So that's a bit better. And you also can get a lift kit put on these things. Not cheap, though. Probably going to cost me over $1,000 to do a lift kit on one of them. So, and you could probably put some really light truck tires on them. I saw another YouTuber do that, and sort of turn it into a bit of an off-road vehicle. So that's a thought, and that's an option, because I love the idea that it's pretty similar to an SUV, although it is 2 feet longer, about 2 feet longer than what I have right now. And of course, a part of me is wondering, gosh, it's going to make me a lot longer, and it's going to maybe make it even harder for towing and backing up and all of that. I mean, again, I'm not sure. So I'm not totally sure about the minivan. But I love the idea that I can take out some of those seats in the back and have all this fabulous room to store stuff, because it's better when you're towing to, tow a lot of stuff in your car, not just the tow vehicle. So I thought, wow, that would be fabulous to have all that extra room, and I could pretty much set up a permanent, mobile office in there. So that's kind of what I'm exploring right now, is a minivan. And I'm really looking at this. At this point, I've kind of narrowed it down to a Toyota Sienna. I was looking at the Kia Sedona, but I like a couple things better about the Toyota. Of course, it's much more, well, I can't say it's much more, but I think it's definitely one of the most reliable. I've been driving a Honda for years, and it's been a wonderful car. I drove Toyotas when I was younger, and they were always great. So I'm thinking a Toyota Sienna is the one I would go with. In any case, my next step seems to me to make the most sense. I've been debating Should I just go for it, just go out there and start doing it, or should I do a trial run first? And at this point, I'm leaning towards a trial run. I'm thinking that I could. Starlink has a 30-day trial period where you can try it out for 30 days and get your money back if you don't want to do it. And so I thought, well, that's perfect. I will get the Starlink so I can try that out for 30 days and do a trial camping trip. And I live in Northern California, so I'm gonna probably, well, definitely camp up here. I live in Sonoma, which is wine country, right next to Napa. And I live, Lake Tahoe, the Sierras are in my backyard practically, and it's sad that I haven't really spent a lot of time, short trips here and there, but I really haven't spent a lot of time over in the Sierras. And so yesterday, I'm so excited. I booked a 9-day reservation for Yosemite, for staying at a campground near Yosemite. So for 9 days, I'll get to explore Yosemite, Hetch Hetchy, and that whole gorgeous, stunning area. And I made the reservation for May 1st. So I get to stay for... I get to be there at a time when the waterfalls are still going to be super full. I've only been to Yosemite, I think, once when the waterfalls were full. And May is usually the good time to go for that. And we've been having a ton of snow and rain here in Northern California, all over California. And matter of fact, just last night, up in the Sierras, the winds, we had hurricane force blizzard conditions, and they clocked the winds at the mountain at 167 miles per hour. Wow. Dangerous conditions, actually. So in any case, I'm hoping that there's not that the roads will be open in May for me to get to Yosemite. I'm sure they will be, but in any case, the waterfalls are going to be stupendous, and lakes and all of that. So I feel like this is in the wildflowers and stuff. So I just feel like this is a great time to go camping. So I'm super excited about that, to have such a long trip booked around the Yosemite area, and I will really get a chance to explore. And I don't know about doing I think I'll do hikes, but certainly ones where people are around. I'm still a little too much of a scaredy cat. There are lots of bears around in Yosemite, so I just don't want to take a chance with that. So I'll do hiking, of course, but not on any trails that there's not a lot of other people around. So I'm excited about that. And I probably will camp also. I have another trip. I booked another one at a state park that I've always wanted to stay at, that's right on a lake. I booked that for a little bit later, so it kind of be right after Yosemite. And then I also plan to do some, hopefully, boondocking as well, so I want to do a combination of established campgrounds, pay campgrounds, and try out some boondocking as well. I'm actually researching that, and I'm a little bit surprised how long it can take for me to figure out places to stay. I mean, for one thing, a lot of campgrounds are still closed, so that's kind of an issue, because I'm thinking I want to go out starting around mid-April to mid-May. Sort of beat the crowds, as it were. And I want to get started sooner rather than later so that I can decide whether or not I'm going to go out for full time, because it would be nice to get out by, beginning of summer if I can. So that's the plan. I'm getting really excited. I was really excited to get that booking at Yosemite, and then I have that beautiful lake booked, and so now I'm trying to figure out where I can go boondocking and so forth too. So yeah, I'm starting to get that really excited feeling like, oh my God, this is going to be an adventure. I haven't felt this excited in a while, so it's just really, really cool. That's when I know I'm doing the right thing, like my head gets in the way a lot and I think of all of the things that could go wrong and why I shouldn't be doing this and how hard it's going to be. And then when I get so excited like this about just the thought of it, it's like, when you're a kid and you start to get so excited about Christmas or going to Disneyland, it's kind of like that, those feelings. And when you get older, you don't get to have those feelings quite as often as you would like. So it's a great feeling to have something to look forward to and get so excited by. And yeah, I just keep telling myself, yes, it's going to be challenging. There's going to be a lot of times where you're going to be like, what the heck are you doing? Why are you doing this? But I have a feeling that I'm going to say it's all worth it. It's all worth this trouble. So I hope so. But yeah, that's where it's at. So trial run, mid-April to mid-May. And I actually need to go test drive a minivan. I've never driven one, so that would be my next step, is to go test drive one. For the trial run, I'm just going to use my Honda CR-V. I'm not going to go and buy a new car for it. First of all, I want to check and see if I can even do it, in the teardrop. If I get back from that and see, oh yeah, you could do it, it's no problem, then the next step would be to buy the minivan used. All right, well, that's where it's at for now, and that's my thinking. I think that with the Class C, I feel like if I put the teardrop up for sale, I would take a loss on it, probably a significant loss, and that would kind of kill me. I do love the teardrop. It's so cute and cozy, and I really do love it. I love my kitchen in the back there. I just love the ease of being able to have my refrigerator right there and the stove and, be outside cooking. There's something about being outside and cooking I just adore and love. Oh, you should have seen me, by the way, the other day. I bought this tent that will hopefully, I think, work to go in the back over my kitchen galley. So on those days when it's rainy and or windy, I have this Kelty tent that I can put up. But I was trying to put it up as a test run the other day, where I store my teardrop, and it was pretty darn windy, and so that thing was trying to take off on me like an umbrella. And I'm like, well, this is real world testing, that's for sure, because a lot of times you're dealing with the wind. And I think once I didn't try to anchor it down, but once I got it up on the galley, it seemed like it would hold okay as long as you had it, secured down really well. But it took me a darn minute to figure out how to get the thing put together. There was no instructions with it. And it was the hardest tent I've ever had to put up, and hopefully that would get a lot easier. I don't know. It wasn't hard physically, but it was just hard to figure out where the poles go. It wasn't obvious because it's a weird shaped, tent. I don't know what you call it. It's like the backroads shelter, I guess. What I like about it is it has these sides that can go up or down. So if I want it to be open, I can just roll them up. If I want it to be down, then I can have it all the way down to the ground and really have good protection. And it had a little door on the other side. So I feel like that's gonna work well for the days that it's windy or rainy, or I just want a little extra shelter from the sun or whatever. I also bought a 6x6 clamshell tent off of Amazon, and I put it up and everything, and it's just the right size. But I think I'm going to return it for now. I just feel like putting up both tents would be a lot of work. And I have a clamshell already. It's a 9x9, and I got the 6x6 just to see, could the smaller size work for me? And definitely would work better because it's lighter and shorter and a bit easier to put up. But I think I will wait on that and see if I really do feel like I would need it out there, because maybe the one that goes on the back is enough. Mind you, my teardrop has a awning as well, so I think I will return that for now. I can always buy one later if I feel like I want it. And I already do have a clamshell, but I'm not sure if I'll take it with me or not. We'll see, if I have the room on this trial run to bring it and see if I actually use it. So that's why I'm excited about the trial run. I, see if I can do it, see what works, what I need to bring that I forgot to bring, what I brought and didn't need to bring, et cetera, et cetera. So I think that would be a really great thing to figure out stuff, So I'm just trying to be smart about this and, make sure I'm making the right decision, because it's a big deal for me. So yeah, that's where we're at. But yeah, I did manage to finally get that darn screen tent up on the back of the galley, and now I just got to figure out how you tie it all down, or how it would work on my particular rig to get it all tied down. But I thought that's going to be a great solution, because when I'm trying to cook back there, and it's windy, on a couple of camping trips I've done already, the wind kept putting out the light, the pilot lights on the stove. So that, I think, will be a nice addition to that. But I was cursing up a storm trying to get that darn thing up, man. It was hard. And then once you get it up, all put together, it's rather big. And so you're dragging that thing, trying to get it to where it needs to go. And you're like, oh my goodness, this is really challenging. And there was somebody watching me, and I felt so self-conscious and go away, people. Don't watch me making all these mistakes. I hate that. I'm sure they heard me cursing up a storm. Oh, that was funny. Anyways, I guess I'll hang on to it and see. Try it out, World again, on maybe not such a windy day. Trying to put it up on such a challenging day was a little daunting, but that's the deal. So anyways, I'm getting excited. Gosh, it's only, what is it today? It's March 2nd, so I've got 6 weeks to prepare, and can't be soon enough. So yeah, going out mid-April is a little challenging, because I can't head up to the mountains. It's going to be too cold, too snowy. So I'm going to have to stick to the lowlands, as it were, where it's warmer and stuff. So yeah, it's amazing when you start the research how many campgrounds, even up in the Sierras, some of them don't open up till late June. I guess they're at such a high elevation that there's still snow even in June, and they don't, or the roads are bad. So they just, and after this winter we've had here, I don't know, a lot of roads are going to be closed, and I bet you a lot of campgrounds will be closed. So it's challenging, to find campgrounds that are even open. So so I'll probably have to stick to, obviously lower elevation campgrounds for the most part. All right, well, I'll keep you updated as things go along. All right. Talk to you later. Bye.